I am just setting up everything while all of you join. My AC is going to be going off a little bit because it is hot. So welcome again to sketch stream number 5. These have had different names throughout the day, throughout the time that they've been a thing. Let me turn off the sound on my computer. But sketch nights, sketch doodles, morning doodle dumps, whatever you want to call them, they've been around for a while. I normally do these in order to help people out and teach them a thing or two while you guys have like art block or any sort of issue like that. But we are officially at the last page of this sketchbook. And with this being the last page of the sketchbook, I need to move my mic a little bit. Today's drawing is... Actually, since today's drawing is going to be like that, I might just tilt it a little bit. There you go. Alright, so today's drawing is always special for me. Whenever I finish a sketchbook, I like to make sure that it ends in a positive note, and it's also going to be with the theme that I actually learned in mind. Right? So the biggest thing that I learned throughout this whole sketchbook was the simple fact that if I teach, I learn quicker. If I teach, I am a more efficient artist. So I'm going to have to draw myself teaching. Completing the sketchbook is always a landmark achievement, be it a little sketchbook, be it a big sketchbook, be it a little pad, like a big like bunch of paper that you finally like put together into a big sketchbook that you just like had laying around. Any way that you feel some sort of accomplishment with your drawings, you should always like value that very highly. Let's say hi to the people on the chat. Red Eye Artist, hello. Jacob Warren, hey Rod, can you speak on the joints of the body? Yeah, I think I can do that. Jacob Warren, an octopus and a lollipop. Oh, he's already jumping on that. Octopus, which is very similar to a squid, so we'll change it up a little bit. And lollipop. But we still need a drink. Remember, it's an animal and a drink for those. So we'll let somebody else come up with a drink. Make Borg says hello. Ragnarok says hello. Vanessa Puzzle says hello. And then over on TikTok we have this is awesome. Kill bro is fast kill on site. Emily, this is awesome. How are you drawing so fast? How am I drawing so fast? Well, let me explain to you guys a couple things. I have been doing this for a long time. I have been doodling and drawing for about 20 years now with the purpose of learning how to get better. Now, I had been drawing a lot before that. Before that, I didn't really focus on getting better. I just focused on drawing because I needed to get the habit up. But the moment that I decided that I was going to focus on actually teaching and I wanted to make sure that I knew my fundamentals better, that's when I realized, oh my God, I don't know my own fundamentals. And then I went back in, and then that's when I started seeing a ton of improvement. Like a ridiculous amount of improvement really, really quickly. I normally like to use watercolors. These watercolors are not anything really special. It's just a set that I picked up. Well, that I didn't pick up. It got picked up for me because it was a gift. It was a gift from my buddy Jerry, and he got me a watercolor kit that I could travel with because he realized that I was carrying around like my huge, gigantic palette that I got at the 99-cent store. And he was like, no, man, an artist of your caliber should not be doing that. And then he just got me this little kit. And that was awesome. Mostly because I don't really get gifts from like friends. I'm normally the gift giver, not the gift getter. So whenever anybody like gives me something, I'm like, "Oh, you're the best," and that's how my brain works. All right, so we're gonna draw myself teaching. Gotta give myself an epic mustache. A little bit of lines under my eyes because this has been like, even though it's only was like a 3 month gap or something like that, we drew a lot. We drew a lot. Mountain Dew. Okay. Mountain Dew will be the drink. Rod, Jacob Burns, how do you draw bigger? I draw the same almost. How do you get used to drawing bigger? Um, you normally have to get used to drawing with different materials if you want to draw considerably bigger, because you still want to retain the same level of line quality that you would normally keep whenever you're drawing small. That's how your brain works, and that's how you should aim to retain the line quality. So if you go big in size, go up a little bit more in your, like, the thickness of your pencils or your markers or your pens, because it's going to make you a little bit more familiar with how your lines are getting put down. When you draw bigger and you still have the same level of line quality that you maintain, it just makes it into a much finer line quality, which sometimes throws off the look that we want to achieve or what we're used to. So I suggest that if you do go up in size, just pick up materials that are going to help you maintain that same level of line quality. All right, let's see. Emily Arts, I made it! Woo! Emily Arts, hi, how you doing? Okay. Kill onside, would you say you have to be really consistent to become good at drawing? Not at all. Not at all. You don't have to be consistent at all. You don't even have to know how to draw, like, the things that you probably think you need to know how to draw before you start being an artist. Art is an incredibly subjective field. Um, all in all, essentially, if you're having fun with it, it's gonna make other people smile. So that's how I normally value my art. If I see that my art is making other human beings smile, then I think I'm doing something right. If my art is not making people smile, I like to double check to make sure that I'm not just creating offensive stuff. But normally, for the most part, there's going to be a good pushback, a good feedback whenever you do any art. So it's not necessarily about getting good at drawing. It's about, or being consistently enough to be good at drawing. It's about having fun with what you're doing so that other people can get that from you. If you feel forced, if it feels like, like it's too much, like you can't keep on doing it consistently, then that might not be the right art for you. For example, I can draw all day, every day, talk about art every day, come up with challenges and structures and different ways of seeing things, because I'm not seeing this as a chore, right? I'm not seeing this as something that I have to get done. I see myself going through a process. I see myself going through change. I see myself growing. I see myself changing over time, changing the things that I like about my art, disliking some things and, wanting to push in different aspects and making things just like overall better in time, which means that I have to be self-critical. I have to make sure that I understand that I am not perfect, right? My art is not perfect. And, what I want to achieve is going to have growing pains. It's going to take time. Now, how long that is going to be dependent on how long it takes me to understand like concepts and stuff like that. I'm a slow learner. Regardless of me being a good teacher, I'm a very slow learner. And that's why I constantly repeat the same concepts over and over and over again. Because that's how I learn. And when I learned how I learned the most efficiently, that was when I was able to actually be better at teaching myself. So I learned very, very quickly after starting to do these streams with you guys that I saw an increase in my skill quality every time that I try to teach you guys something new, because it would just cement everything that I have been trying to explain to you guys. And then I'm like, but that doesn't make sense. Oh, okay. Oh, this is where probably people are going to get confused. And I just start thinking from the other side as if I was a student listening to myself. And then a lot of times I just end up going like, oh shit, that's right. This needs to change. This needs to be fixed. I'm not preaching what I'm saying. Let's change it. So you guys, all of you out there, the ones that tune in, the ones that like come in here and want to learn, the ones that ask questions, the ones that like search it out, are the ones that help me. You guys are helping me just as much as I'm helping you. So this is like a fantastic little like cycle. I find myself learning by teaching you guys, and you guys teach me, and I teach you. And then every time I learn something new, I just go on and I'm like, aha, welcome back everybody, we have new shit to learn. See, that's the thing. I don't normally wait until I'm perfect at something to teach it. So a lot of the times it doesn't end up being like the best lesson sometimes, right? Now, I went back and I was looking at all my old YouTube videos. Like my old YouTube videos, right? Where they talk about like anatomy and like some of them like with perspective and stuff like that. And I realized that I didn't really know exactly what I was explaining, but I was still explaining it relatively well. But now that I can go back and change those things, I'm gonna have to go back and like upload new things to replace the stuff that's already been there. When new knowledge comes in, it's up to me to go in and do the little changes and update people and make sure that people are getting the information as well as they can. Not that anything that I do is like live or die or whatever, but I like to think that I'm important in this little world, as we all should. Okay, when you draw bigger, draw most to get used to drawing bigger. Emily Arndt made it. Jacob Warren, small bat hands. Oh, my bad. Jacob Warren, can you cover knees, elbows, or do you not show them in art pieces? What? Oh, well, if we get to an elbow or a knee in this drawing, which I'm pretty sure we will show that as well. Max Stefek. You work is awesome. It's inspiring to me. Oh, from Argentina. Hey, from Argentina. Okay, so the drawing today is going to be essentially me, my backdrop, whatever I have in my desk, and I'm going to have a nice little webcam of sorts. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of how I set up my stuff through my drawing today. So I'm just gonna map it out really quickly. Have my chair, webcam, have like a desk or something. We'll have our sketchbook. and then we can start figuring out what we're gonna do with our hands. But since I'm normally like dancing around with my hand, like we're going to, let me see if I can get this lighting a little bit better. There you go. Okay. Yeah, normally I'm dancing around with my hand, so I'm going to draw my hand, let's draw like a pencil or whatever, and then the little grip. And then just looking at my hand, I'm looking that I have the grip on. This is how I hold my pen. Okay, so I hold it with the grip on top, the side of my finger on one, and then thumb on the other. So if I divide this into threes, one of them has to have a finger on each. So the closest one to my body is going to have my thumb. That one's going to have the index, and then this one's going to have the finger that's bending on the side. Okay. And we'll figure out the hand in a little bit. If this is pointing up, but the hand is going down. So it's going to be something like that. The hand is probably going to be coming out from that side. Give myself a little dress shirt, because I would, if I was streaming, I'd probably be all dressed in like the cool like printed shirts and like a tie and have like my mustache all curly, and I'd be all presentable like I do whenever I do competitions. By the way, I have a competition on this 25th of October over with the people at Pencilism Studios. Pencilish? I always confuse Pencilish and Imaginism. But yeah, like I have a competition with them, and it's gonna be awesome. I don't know if you guys have ever seen my live competitions with Wacom or with Wacom or with Wacom, because I've done a lot with Wacom. I've done like speed drawing competitions at CTN Expo a couple times and got to the semifinalist, which was awesome. I'm trying to grow out my beard, so I'm gonna have a little bit of that. Been slowly getting there. It's a growing thing. Get it? Because hair grows. The one thing also that is up now is the subscriptions. So let me see if I can turn this down a little. Is that less reflective? No, it's not helping. I think it's just the light. There you go. That's better. Okay, so. Oh yeah, the subscription. Okay, so hear me out. This is not. I guess this is self-promotion to a little bit extent, but you know, I'm gonna do it anyways because you know it's such a cool thing that like I'm like super excited. So over on Instagram, they have the ability to do subscriptions now. Now, don't be afraid. I'm not gonna stop posting all the stuff that I do, and I'm not gonna stop posting like things on TikTok and anything. Okay, that's not gonna stop. So don't worry. Nothing's gonna change for the people that, you know, just come on here and then just want to learn. I'll be doing the same thing. But for those that do want to support and help me actually achieve my goals, because I know there's a few of you that, you know, actually enjoy what I do enough that you understand that there's some value to be there. Well, not just to take my word for it. I have created a little subscription service, which, first of all, gives you a bunch of free stuff. Like a bunch of free stuff, discounts, free downloads, free templates for you to use for your own professional, like, you know, means. And it's just going to be a growing thing. I'm just going to keep adding and adding and adding. And the more that you guys are able to help me support myself with my art, the more I'm going to give back to you guys. That's simple. You already know me as a giving individual. Now, just imagine what would come about of me receiving the ability to teach full time. Oh my god. Ah. Oh dear god, you have no idea of what I would give back to the people that have no man, you have no idea. Like the ability to go around, explore the world, and share that with all of you would be amazing. Now, being able to do that every day while being able to teach you guys different things around the world. Oh my god, that is a dream. Think of me as like Anthony Bourdain, but art. And I would do that in a second. If they ever made a TV show with that concept in mind, I would fight tooth and nail like the Highlander stuff. Only one may survive, and I will take that spot. Oh man. Okay, hold on. Let's see. So I see that I can see both of my fingers from this side, which means that my other fingers are here. Alright, there you go. I think I got it. I also have my glove on, so I have to keep that in mind. And then my forearm into probably rolled up sleeves, honestly, because I don't like drawing with my sleeves down. My shoulder would be around here, which would be covered with the hand, but you know, I'm leaning a little bit forward. I'm trying to give a good posture going on, so I'm going to use that just to know where my rib cage is at the side. And then that leads to the chair. Forearm muscle. The forearm muscle is kind of like a drumstick. Okay? I don't know if you guys can see it there. Okay, the forearm muscle is kind of like a drumstick. It's thinner on the bottom and bigger at the top. Only thing is, there's a little pointy part. The little pointy part is your bone that extends down to your elbow, and that's the turning point that takes it back onto your bicep and your tricep and all that stuff. When your wrist is pointing up, your muscle at the top tends to be up. Okay, so in this case, since we have our hand, it's going to be doing something similar to this. Our hand is going up. So therefore, oh my god. Hold on, let me move you guys. Since you guys are easier to move, I'm just going to move you guys here. The YouTube people are getting like a big picture of white. Hold on. I'm still trying to figure out like exactly how I'm going to be doing this, but hopefully that's a little bit better. It's always this damn webcam. Like, I need to find a way to, I need to just buy a new one. These old Logitech cameras used to be really good, but now, like, they're absolute garbage. Like, they absorb light, but they don't, like, auto adjust, and when I do set it to auto adjust, it just overcompensates completely. So okay, I think that should be good. It's a weird angle for me, but okay, so we have our forearm. If our forearm points up, this little muscle points up. If our forearm is, or if our hand is pointing down, let's say our hand is down like this, then our little forearm muscle tends to be positioned down. So keep that in mind whenever you're drawing hands, and that's going to help your hands be a little bit better. You deserve a Disney movie. And I would honestly settle for them reaching out and being like, hey, do you want to get interviewed? Do you want to like I would be proud to have them want me to work for them. Not saying that, I don't know, like, it really depends on the situation, but I don't see myself working for a studio. But it would be nice and be fun to be able to, like, hear from them, be like, we would like for you to come work for us. And I'd be like, oh, you guys are so sweet, but no. But if they wanted to do a cartoon with, like, Archie or something like that, that'd be dope. Or Grimmy. Oh, that'd be so cool. Okay, so let's figure out this hand before we keep on going. If I'm drawing with my hand like this, and I'm trying to look at myself from using my own hand as reference, the pen is going to be sticking out this way from that other side. So my hand is going to cover most of that. Okay, that's the thing that was throwing me off. So the palm of my hand is not going to show much of the pen because it's going to be on the other side of the hand. Perfect. If this is my wrist, the palm, like the top part of my palm is right there. This little box, a little Pringle shape, is going to help us finish off the hand. And then we just locate our knuckles. And then we start drawing fingers. Knuckle, finger, knuckle. This finger is our middle finger. So our middle finger is actually going up to the pen. So it goes from our knuckle to our pen. And then the last finger is also on this side. It's going to go up on top of the pen. Now the beauty of this is that I have a glove, so all these sketchy lines go away. And then when I add contrast, all the lines inside of here are going to diminish too. But it doesn't really matter because I'm an artist. Artists have messy hands. And then we have our thumb. Our thumb would be coming out from back here. So it would be coming right there. That means that my pen grip has to be about this wide because it has to be on top, on the side, and touching my thumb. The pen would go through the thumb. You would not see that, and we'll make the thumb even darker a little bit just to make it go into the background. We'll finish this off by creating the little tip of the pen, pencil, whatever I feel like I'm drawing with at that point. And now we have our hand going like this. Yay! Alright, so we have arm, shoulder, wrist, rib cage, back, rib cage, other side, shoulder, bicep. Perfect. Alright, close it off with the desk. Add a little bit of a shadow to ground our character a little bit. And then we continue on with the details of actually no, let's add some contrast first. As we go, we'll just add some contrast. No, we don't leave it till the end. Let's read some comments. It'll be great if you share some pathways to promote your own artwork, and what are the steps to take cartoon illustration as a freelance? Ooh, okay. All right, so in order to promote your own art, you need to, first of all, not hide your art, right? So the first step is to create a public profile that people can just go visit, and you know that can come in the way of a Instagram account, it can come in the way as a portfolio, it can come in the way as a Facebook, Twitter, whatever you feel like, you know, like using as your method of like gallery-ish, portfolio-ish type of thing. If you are a subscriber to any of the Adobe accounts, right, like the Photoshop Creative Suite or something like that, that subscription offers you free website and portfolio space. So I use that. That's what I use. I find it easy. I find it convenient. Now, you just got to find, the thing that helps you be able to push your art. Now, the second step is to start creating content on a consistent basis. And this has to be consistent material. Material that you enjoy, material that you are going to want to work on. And don't settle for, creating artwork that's not going to push your personal growth in any way, shape, or form. As in, let's say that you get offered, to draw some, less than pleasant drawings, but it pays really good. Try to not take jobs like that if you don't necessarily need the money. Now, we all find ourselves in situations like that. All of us. If you're an artist, you've been put in a situation where, okay, it's like, oh man, okay, I do need the money, and we feel kind of like hoes, selling ourselves for money. But that's the thing that's hard to express to people that aren't creative. It's so interesting to sell your imagination, to sell your skills of what you can come up with in your brain. It's kind of like a writer, or kind of like a storyteller, or anything like that. But it's much harder than people ever give credit to artists for, and that's why it's hard to promote. It's hard to stand out, because so many people find it subjective, and then therefore it has a lot of different meanings and has a little different ways to approach the same things. So therefore you can't have like a clear indicator of ooh, this is good art. No, it's more like, oh, this is good art, yeah, but it's not what I need. Or this is good art, but right? That just seems to be the case when it comes down to that. Let's see. I'm gonna draw myself with a little lapel thingies that people do when they're fancy. I'm not a fancy person, but I like to think that maybe one day I'll have a tie that makes me look fancy. Alright, so we have that. Let's move on to the desk. The light is reflecting off the paper. Better, back. Oh, that's better. Love's better. Nice done. Love. Thank you, Angela. Positivity 29. Love that character. Reminds me of your look on 21 Draw. Well, I mean, yeah, that's essentially kind of how I dress up whenever I have to give lessons, give classes. I dress myself like an educator. I'm not always in a tank top and shorts. At least a good 10% of the time that I'm dressed like an adult. At least. Okay, that's more than you can ask of me. I like comfort. I could care less about brands. I like comfort. I could live in PJ pants all day, every day, the entirety of my life, and I would never complain. Brands are pointless. I've worked in production way too long to care about brands. I know how much your guys' sneakers cost to make. I know how much the t-shirts cost to make. I know the importance of a brand and a logo. I know the markups. I know where to get things if I really, really wanted what you have that's really expensive. So, for example, me and sometimes my siblings, some of my siblings conflict because I'm a very minimalistic person. I like living in simple pleasures because I know that those simple pleasures are going to be available to me any given day, and I can live the lifestyle that I want, as opposed to living a lifestyle that I don't necessarily have, but I'm trying to pretend to be in. That is one thing that I'm that's why I draw with cheaper materials, so that if the point ever comes in which I can't afford what I need to create, I know that I'm gonna be able to at least afford a sketchbook, and I'm gonna be able to afford some highlighters, and I can steal a pen from the bank. So I'm like, cool. Yeah, keep your Copics. When you run out of your $300 markers, I hope that you have another $300 to buy more Copics. And if you don't, I hope you get better at drawing with things you can't afford. I constantly draw myself for my own specific reasons. I like to draw myself drawing silly little things like happy faces and stick figures. I don't know why, but I have a slight fascination with little kids' like styles of drawing. So the simplicity in which they see the world is fascinating, right? And then at some point, someone tells us that we're drawing things wrong. And that's when we start changing it up, and we start like wanting to draw like with certain styles, and we like forget our own original thought process that would, make us come up with whatever we needed. But those thoughts are still accessible to you. You just have to allow yourself to have fun, and then just let your brain come up with things to do. I'm so sad, no speak English, but your lesson. ¿Hablas español? Si hablas español, tengo un video en español. Y está en un canal de español de Rodgon. Tengo que empezar otra vez ahí, pero necesito asistentes para poder tener tantos canales. Y en realidad, ahorita, lo único que puedo hacer es... con un canal, porque es mucho trabajo para unas personas. I just noticed the muscles between your thumb and your first finger. Dude, is that from drawing? This one? Yeah, that's probably from drawing. That's exactly where my pencil lies. So, yeah. That's funny. No one's ever pointed that out. That's hilarious. Okay, let's go back to our layout, and then this one was what sketchbook? Sketchbook. We didn't even name and like number them anymore. It's just a sketchbook with a theme. Okay, so June 8th, and what day is today? I believe it is October 2nd. Oh, it's October 3rd. No, I think it's the 2nd. I hope it's the 2nd. Yeah, October 2nd. So this will have officially finished October 2nd, 2022. Just write down there, just, to cement it in stone. And we get to play a little bit with typography too. Sketch book. Complete. Yay! Alright, let's do those letters all cool. Now that we have the layout, all we gotta do, if you want to make them all awesomeness, I personally, and I'm enchanted by the look of sketchy lines, right? Like, for some reason, at one point in my development, in my art development, I absolutely fell in love with creepy shit. I love creepy drawings. I love, emotional drawings. I love making people feel emotions with my art. Now, I stopped drawing really emotional things about like 2, 3 years ago because I remember drawing something so sad that people started calling suicide prevention hotlines, and they started harassing my girlfriend because they kept on like saying that it was her fault, blah blah. I was like, oh dear God, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. So I stopped posting a lot of very emotional drawings online because of that. It was just a little bit too much attention for something that I did not wish to be given attention for. Right? So I normally post whenever I'm sad. I post, or if I do post nowadays, it's mostly meant with the intent to get that emotion out of my body, to get it out and then just unleash it onto the void of the internet so that it doesn't come back to me. But at the same time, I like to put it out there so I can journal my life, not for the entertainment of other people, but for myself, because I'm going to look back at this about like years from now, and I'm going to ask myself, like, whoa, like, what was I thinking back then? Right? How was I living my life? I'm a very forgetful person. So I have very, very bad memory, and I don't really remember much of my life. It's, unfortunate, but unless it's something that's very, very important to me, I tend to not remember it. It's, I don't know, it's just something that's happened. I don't even remember much before like my 20th birthday. So it's just very interesting to me to go back and be like, oh my God, I was doing something cool. Oh, I did this. Oh, yes. Woohoo. It's kind of like discovering myself again. And, the one thing that hurts the most from having my ex-girlfriend leave me is that all the memories that we took together since she blocked me online because she, just can't communicate with me. I lost all those memories because now I can't even see the pictures that we're tagged into together or anything. So it just sucks. That's the one thing that, has been like the most annoying and like sad throughout like this whole like year. It's just that I can't really like go back and see what we experienced together. Regardless of us being together or not, it was just, we still lived a long time together and we lived through a lot of shit. So it's kind of sad to not be able to go back and explore those memories. So that's why I draw everything. You can't take away my drawings. Actually, no, that woman did. She ripped out all the sketchbook pages that she didn't like. That were like, oh man, it was a shit show, dude. Like, woo, be careful who you date. Like, I'm sorry, I had so many red flags that I just didn't follow because she was fucking gorgeous. But yeah, be very careful who you date. That's all I'm gonna say. I wish her the best. I hope that she finds someone that she's happy with. Because clearly it was not me. But we did do a lot of cool things, so I wish that I could actually see those pictures. Oh well. Is that... thank you, Speak Friends. Every artist that has a weird Tamiki finger from holding pencils. It's because we are like... We get like... the figurations from our bodies because of this. Like, we draw so much that our bodies literally like shape to what we need. Evolution. Alright, let's do the background. The background's gonna be very blocked in, and it's gonna give a general indication of the things that I have in the background, which are a lot of tikis, a lot of little like things that just give me good memories. Most of my backdrop is mostly things with a lot of cool memories attached to me. And that's the other thing with me. I have little to no attachment to any physical thing. It's very hard for me to get attached to physical attributes because my childhood was very interesting. And I don't feel like going into it too much, but it just makes it hard for me to be like knowing that something's gonna be there forever. Right? No, that does not mean my dad left. Or my mom. It's more like we got uprooted so much that it's just like, you know, like just don't get attached to shit. So whenever I do find something that has like a special memory, be it a wrapping paper or a t-shirt or something, if it ends up having a memory attached to it, I will keep that forever. I have things that people have given me for 30 years ago that I still have in a little tiny vault. When people think of me, I never forget that. If someone actively thinks about me for any sort of thing, you can bet your butt off that I will remember that for the rest of my life. Because so few people in my life have actually made me like the most important thing about them. Or even an important, not the most, who cares about being the most? An important thing. And whenever somebody actually does, it's like, wow. Like, you are like in my life now. Sorry, you are stuck with me. Yeah, I've had an interesting life. Maybe one day I'll share it with you guys. It's a sad. It's a lot of sadness though. So I don't know if I want to do that. It's been a long life. I'll give you that much. It's had a little bit of contrast right there because the last couple weeks, honestly, there's been times where I have only slept like 3 hours in a 72-hour time span. So I'm a little tired. And let's draw the webcam. My horrible webcam that I absolutely hate. It used to be really good. Like my mom must have dropped it or something, but like the Logitech cams are normally pretty decent, but lately I just have not been able to set it up properly. Then I guess I need to get a better tripod too. I need to get something along the lines of this. I need to get one of those little phone clip holders, but I need the phone or the webcam attached separately to a thing outside of the desk. The thing is, when I'm drawing and the desk is moving because my hand is moving so quick, it tends to move the camera, so it jiggles. So I need to get something or like set up a pulley system or a rig that allows me to set that up without. Hi, peeps. I'll come up with a little peep character. Alright, we said we were going to draw tiki mugs in the back, so let's draw some tiki mugs, some plants. A bunch of art supplies just laying around. Some lights, bookshelf. And a lot of this gestural work that you're seeing me do right now, it just comes from understanding the basics of perspective and depth and composition. You know, the more that you're able to learn the basics of what you're doing, the more complex your art's going to become naturally, because you're going to be able to see higher levels of detail, and you're going to understand that even if you don't have a complete drawing, like you don't have to complete a drawing to convey that emotion, to convey that, you know, like thing. That takes a while to get used to, but once you do, once you realize that, it's super cool. Straw coffee mug. Draw that on the side table because I do have a little side table. I need to get a mug that says this. I need to get it. I need to get it just for self-motivation. I only drink iced coffee. I do not drink warm coffee anymore. I cannot, man. Like, I do not understand why people like to pour hot lava down their throats in the morning. I just don't comprehend it. It doesn't make sense to me. You are nutty. But I respect you. Just don't bring your warm beverages around me. Give me my iced coffee and my iced tea. I'm using contrasts to make sure that the mug, you know, pops out. Because it's a white mug, therefore we have to make sure that the colors around it aren't white so that it actually pops. You can do that with any sketch. It just makes the drawings look better. And it gets your brain into a like a system where you just keep on thinking about like how to make things pop more, as opposed to like how to just get it done and finished. The 9th book. This is the 9th book. Oh wow. How many times for a completed sketchbook? Well, you guys tell me. Like, I started this in, what was it? In June 8th, and now it's October 2nd. So is that like what, 2 months? 3 months? And since we did a pose, I want to draw a quick little, like, a quick little pinup from a blobby. I haven't done one of those in a while, and I want to see if I've gotten better at it. So the trick to this is to create blobbies with roundness and flow. Like, if you make them too jagged, it's really hard to create shapes with them. But if you create, like, you know, circular shapes, it's always easier to create depth with those shapes. All right, so blobby. Let's let that blobby dry while I add more detail to my background here. What else do I have? I have a fan that I have going on right now. I got a little silent fan. It has like circulating fans on the side. So that's been really nice because I'm not dying of like heat stroke anymore and like sweating my booty off every single time that I'm like streaming. Oh my god, that was horrible. During summer, and I was trying to stream and it was just incredibly warm. It was just so incredibly warm. I start my first sketchbook. Hey, Bebop, start your sketchbook. Angela Harmon, I have writer's knot from where I hold mine. Subhobbit, what about your comics with Archie and Lily with robots and aliens? Lily? Who's Lily? Lolo. Little Bubby, little Lolo. Well, little Bubby and little Lolo right now need to be on hold for a second because we are developing the Vicky Mayhem version of my comic for this. So the comic Zooks, or what you're referring to as Zooks, that was a comic that I decided that I was going to make to help journal my life. Now, at the moment, I was, you know, living with my ex-girlfriend, and she was a tattoo artist, and she was, you know, really pretty. So I decided that the story was going to be about her and Archie. Now, the problem with doing things like that is that if the person ever leaves, you are left in a very weird spot. Because I don't want to keep making comics about my ex-girlfriend, even though she is an absolutely gorgeous woman. But I just don't want to. I have no ill will, but I just don't want to be thinking about her. So that's going to change. I'm going to eliminate that aspect of the Zooks comic, and it's just going to be me. And then whatever women come into my life, if women come into my life, are going to be included into the comic like that. But that's literally it. That's going to be the way that the comic works now, and I just have to find the way to structure it so that it actually works. And since I never launched it officially, it's gonna be fine because I don't have to remarket anything. But it also did put a push back on it because honestly, it's just sad to think about that. Let's see over here on TikTok. I really need to learn. Encourage your viewers to share your live. Can you do a sketch of a hand, please? Yeah, I guess. Sketch a hand right here. So, hands are interesting shapes. The more you understand them, the more you can mess around with how they look. The biggest concepts that you have to keep in mind is that it's not a box, right? It has two little fleshy parts at the bottom. One connects to your thumb, and one connects to roughly where your pinky is. Your knuckles are inside of your palm, not outside of your palm. So your palm should have your knuckles inside. The distance between your first knuckle that's inside your palm and your first section of your finger is going to be the same distance that you have for the next two sections. So this is going to be the same as the next two. Okay. This is going to give you the little bumpy parts that you need for inside on the bottom of your hand. You see these? That's your knuckle. Touch it. It's your knuckle. It's a circular thing right there. Knuckles inside. You see it outside here, but it's inside your palm. Okay? That is the one thing that everybody just seems to get wrong. Not the best hand, but it's a good hand. Now, these fingers can be moved in any way, shape, or form, right? You can take each of these segments and then rotate them and figure out different hand positions very simply by just drawing over your drawings and then just move them around. Like, see how far you can get before it looks weird. And you'll be surprised that you can get pretty far away from the original position of your fingers and it still looks pretty damn good. But you can do that with arms, you can do that with legs, you can do that with wrists. Right? Figure out what looks good. You can do that with arms as well. And now we have our little pinup. And this little pinup is going to be holding the octopus. Yeah, why not? With a Mountain Dew. So let's see, we have everything centered. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna be having her holding something. So my shoulder's gonna be here. I'm going to decide that's the back of the body. And this is gonna be a dress or whatever we decide. So with just adding those simple lines, I already have flow to my character. Right, now I have to decide the other elements. What do I want to do with her hair? Her hair is probably going to be this. Got to give her a forehead, which I'd like to do with the bangs. And then we got to decide where our ear is. Our ear is going to be very easy to locate because our ear, whenever our shoulders are up, our ears are really close to our shoulders. So just do it right now. Try to cover your ear with your shoulder. It's almost like exactly there. So if our shoulder's here, our face might be here, and then this face might be looking down a little. Okay. The neck comes from behind the ear and it goes to our shoulder blade, our clavicle, sorry, which is behind the arm, so you can't see it. The hair is flowing back, but the neck would actually just go up to here. Let's add some quick eyes and eyebrows by just adding little dashes. The mouth and the nose have to be within the feature line. So if my ear ends right there, that means that my nose is going to be ending right there. My mouth can be whatever I decide that it's going to be, but it normally extends no farther than the middle of my eye. Okay, now we got to draw a squid or an octopus. The octopus might be wrapping his little tentacles around her. He's gonna be hugging her. Let's bring our arms down and around. You don't have to add a lot of detail to add a lot of emotion to a scene. You really don't. With this can of Mountain Dew. He literally just said he wanted to make it about his life. Hello Rodgon, how's everything? Yes, make it comics with your own character and story, not related to personal life, just another story. Angela Harmon. He literally just said he wanted to make it about his life. It's kind of like a journal, but cooler, like a personal graphic novel. Yeah, more like that. You know, I always enjoyed having the Sunday comic strips, like Calvin and Hobbes and, you know, Garfield and Family Circus and all that stuff. So I wanted to always make my own version of that. Now, I never thought that my life was interesting enough to be able to actually, like, you know, like, be, like, funny or important enough to be able to make it worth reading. But people have pointed out differently. So I keep on getting told that my life is a little bit more exciting than the average. I don't see it, but hey, maybe it's not up to me to decide, you know? So I'm going to try it. And the worst thing that can happen is that I just end up not creating one. And that's it. That's the absolute that can happen, like the worst that can happen. So if her body's twisting, then yes, I can make that the hip. And she's gonna have poofy dress into her thighs. There you go. Yay. Look at my cute. A little bit more contrast. We're going to make the hair a little darker so that the face looks a little bit lighter. And separating the two elements is going to make them both stand out better. We'll do the same thing with the clothing inside. And we'll do the same thing with the dress, but we'll give the dress like some texture. Okay. Tiny bit more contrast right here. And when this gets all nice and dry, I use that to add a tiny bit of color to her nose and a little bit of color to the octopus. Tiny bit, not too much. And just like that, we created a nice little fun, cute little pinup from nothing. And we need to name the little octopus. What should we name our little octopus? How do you know when to shade darker or lighter? Do you want to know the way that I know? Okay. Let's take this sketch, for example. In order to make this sketch stand out, I can go two ways. I could add color inside, or I could add color outside. In this case, I think adding color outside makes it look a little bit better. You see how that mumbled sketch of hands all of a sudden starts looking a little bit clearer. Now, if I wanted to actually make it even more clear, what I'm trying to convey with it, I would cover up the parts that I don't really care about. Maybe I just want that and I don't want this done. Now all of a sudden my hand went from being a mumbled jumbled mess to having the fingers like do what I wanted. So it's a matter of understanding first, if you're playing with shadows, that's a different story. But I'm not playing with shadows here. I'm not shadowing things. I'm not adding lighting. I'm just adding contrast. So two whites, nah. Let's separate it with color. And what did that do? Boom. It made that section of the body stand out more. Now, right here, the neck, the shirt, right? It's contrasting a lot. It's not contrasting enough. So, but if I add this darker color right here, it's gonna blend in with the actual shirt, with the couch. So what I do is I just leave an edge. Or maybe I just make the collar that color. Right? If I make the collar, then it's white, orange, white, orange. And right here, we're missing a little bit of orange. To make the hand go even darker, fill in those little white spots. And like I said, the sketchy lines and the fingers is going to be less and less noticeable the more contrast I add to this section. Okay. Contrast. It's a concept nobody teaches, but it's like stupidly important. All right, everybody. Honestly, thank you so much because thanks to you, we completed this entire book. And it's full of so many amazing, fun, inspirational pieces. I will do a sketchbook tour at some point for this guy, but I think that I'm going to scan this book in completely in its entirety. I still had to fill this page out. Like, I'll throw post-its and stuff like that. I have a few that I've saved up for that. You need to do something with your books after, or so I have been told. So I'm going to start scanning these babies in and, you know, providing them to you guys. That's simple. Inspiration books. Enjoy. Oh, I don't know what to draw. Oh, maybe I should draw some arms. I don't know what to draw. Oh, maybe I should draw a frog. Oh, I don't know what to draw. Ah, some random people or some faces. Anti-art block sketchbooks. Our next sketchbook is most likely going to be... it might be an Illo sketchbook next. Yeah, I think we have this guy next. So I've been alternating from Illo, and I've been alternating from Denik sketchbooks. Denik. D-E-N-I-K. Because, first of all, they send me free books, which I love. They're the two highest quality sketchbooks that I have seen, besides also from Moleskines. But these are also very affordable. Moleskines are a little bit more expensive, so they tend to be a little bit more inaccessible for everybody. But these are relatively cheap, and they're very solid quality. And with these, you can even put your own artwork on them. So, if you guys want to get some cool discount codes, my subscribers get them. Whee! So consider subscribing. You'll probably save the amount for the monthly subscription on each sketchbook that you buy. So, just saying, consider it. It's up to you guys. Links for that are in my Instagram homepage. Love you all. Thank you all so much. Did we name him? Octo. Octo! His name is Octo. Awesome. Thank you all so much for keeping me company during the last page of my sketchbook. It's always very special for me to be able to share this with you all. Yeah, super excited for the rest of the future. The next sketchbook is going to be an Inktober sketchbook. So we're going to start it off with the prompts that I forgot to do so far. And we will get that done and up and running as soon as possible. But thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day. Your Sundays will be amazing. Please draw a little bit for me and draw a lot for you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Okay? Probably tomorrow at 11.